pretty common question that a lot of people have when starting any gacha is, am I going to be able to enjoy this game as a free-to-play player, and am I going to be able to compete to any capacity without spending a load of money? So I think we all know that the very short answer to that with any gacha game is you are going to lose to whales. When it comes to PvP, when it comes to leaderboards, rankings, any kind of competition, you are not going to be a pay-to-play player. And I think pretty much anyone who's interested in games like this accepts that. It's just part of how it works. And I think some people enjoy having that competition with them despite being free to play. So I think that's a pretty clear, simple answer. The long answer is I actually think Watcher of Realms is pretty friendly towards free to play. There's a load of different reasons for it. For example, pretty much every day I get enough diamonds and enough free summons and enough freebies to do a lot of summons, perhaps a dozen summons. If I want to upgrade the star of a unit, I can get a 5-star fodder built just out of the stuff from the shop. I mean, look here, even just right now my shop refreshed and there's a crystal for a discounted value for a summon. There's a lot of value in the shop that helps with stuff like that, like the stamina refills. You can get them very cheap, 35% discount, and that can refresh. Like, look how much I have. I have not spent a penny on this game yet, and I'm not aching for anything. I've been playing for 2.5 weeks. I have 4 legendaries. I haven't been excessively lucky. I think I've been slightly lucky, but I feel pretty good about my progress. I don't feel like if I spend money then I can do this or do that. I actually think I'm pretty much going the way I'd like to. I'm happy with how that works. Now, if you do want to spend money, what do you get out of it? My friends, some of them have spent money, and I believe they are quite happy with it. I think one of the people I know who spend the most money dual plays this game, Watcher of Realms, as well as Raid Shadow Legends, and so far I think he much prefers spending money in this one. I think he's getting a lot more bang for his buck currently. Obviously these things change. This game is still in soft launch, and who knows what happens when global launch does come around. But from what he's told me, the deals here are better than in Raid. Now, that's up to you if you're a big Raid player to know the difference. I've played Raid, but not a great deal, and I've not spent money on it. There is a privilege card which gives you all these different benefits. This is like a subscription, a monthly thing, so you get more XP, more gold, more drops, more materials, more auto fights and speed and whatnot. And it's nice. Like, auto fight would be good, extra drops and percentages is obviously very nice, but again, like, if you want to grind XP to level up characters, there is a XP raid for that in Resource Raid as an XP raid, and it gives you a lot of stuff. And you think, well, that's going to take all my stamina, I'm going to be farming all day, but you can buy in the Arena Merchants once a week an XP bonus 100% for a day, and I promise you, if you save up a few pots, some stamina pots from even just a day or 2 days worth, and then you buy one of those boosters which you can easily afford every week, you can go ham all night in the XP raid and get enough potions to stockpile you to cover you for a while. And you can do that every week. So just like a few hours a week, grinding on a double XP day, and it will sort that out for you quite easily. And you can do the same with gold bonus farming. So the main 2 resources you'll use are fine. The energy you can get quite comfortably through a load of different mechanics in the game. There is guild bosses which give you really good rewards the further you get in. So today, even from clearing Nightmare, I think I got it from Nightmare 1. Yeah, from Nightmare 1 today, I got a legendary summoning crystal, which I still haven't spent. And yesterday, I got a psychic power, which is a free 5-star fodder to upgrade a unit to 6-star. So the rewards you get daily in this game are actually quite generous. I would say very generous compared to the other gachas I've played. Summoner's War, even Raid. You're lucky to make a couple of summons a day, and you don't really want to either, because you need that to refill your stamina in those games, or energy. So on that front, I really do think you get enough as a free-to-play player to play the game comfortably and to progress. While we're talking about accessibility of upgrades, if you play Raid Shadow Legends, you're probably familiar with the book system and how painful it is to get books to upgrade the skills on your different characters, and how it can roll the wrong way, and now you've not got an ideal character, and it's either, hey, spend months grinding books, or open your wallet and swipe. Well, so far in this, I've not had that problem. Again, I've been playing about 2.5 weeks. I have my main character fully maxed. Oh, okay, no, I'm missing one. I can max it. I'm just waiting to get some of this, which I'll get tomorrow. I have a bunch of other characters with book upgrade, well, skill upgrades in their thing. These are legendaries as well, so they're not too cheap. And I have a bunch of the epic tier units just completely maxed out. And it's really not that hard to do. You get a lot of this stuff. There's an area called Tide, and the daily rewards you can see epic skill dust 50, which is quite a lot. You frequently get the skill crystals, which I guess you could equate to books, but you need a lot less of these than you do books in raid. And again, you can get them through these mechanics, you can get them from some other mechanics. There's just a bunch of systems to get this stuff. If you want to talk about on the summoning front, let's see, how do I see my counter? That's here. I've been playing 2.5 weeks and I've made nearly 500 summons. That is a pretty good amount. If you say let's say I've been playing for 17 days, that averages to nearly 30 summons a day. And most of that is one-off rewards. That's coming mainly from campaign, which I have progressed pretty far. The rewards from campaign are quite good, lots of diamonds. The end of chapter rewards on all the difficulties give you a nice dump of additional crystals to summon with. Let's see if I can find an example. If it's okay, yeah, the one I'm stuck on is the example. If I can beat this, I'll get 80, which is not enough for a default summon, but enough to buy a discounted summon from the shop for 70, which you find quite frequently. And 3 rare summoning crystals on top, so basically 4 summons from that, and then completing that will give me another 3, so it's like 7 summons just out the gates. The game also does not have a void tier unit or any kind of like light and dark or anything. That's like typically like whale territory, where you know the top units in the game are this ultra rare element that you have no chance in beating because they have this weird mechanic or their resistance is different. There's just nothing like that. Things are faction based, but there's no like countering element system. You just get units, and the PvP isn't the same either, so you don't have that level of, well, you know, if I'm free to play I'll get certain units, but there's only one void or one light and dark scroll I'll get a month, and you know there's a 0.5% chance of getting anything. No, there's none of that. So as a free to play player you will still be able to get all the top units. Obviously that's still RNG based, but even still then they have double weekends. I think it's fortnightly. Again, I've not been playing long enough to say ironclad, but from my experience it's been fortnightly. And if you really want particular units, the other alternating week there will be 10 times up on a specific hero. So the odds of you getting the characters you want are quite nice. The events are quite good as well. The Treasures in the Deep event at the moment. The Redeem Shop gives you a mythic artifact, which is quite a high tier item to equip on a unit. You can buy some myth extracts, you can buy epic skills for the epic characters like the book equivalent. And nothing is mind-blowing. If you're super late game, then sure, it's not very useful for you. But if you're super late game, you're always just going to be waiting for new content, right? Your events aren't really for that. Events are kind of there to help give you stuff and to let you enjoy a break from the typical gameplay cycle. The arena rewards are quite nice as well. At the end of the season, I got Platinum 2 for the last week, 300 diamonds, which is pretty good again. It's over 3 summons. And a few other bits. The 600 arena coins is quite helpful to buy a bunch of that stuff. So that pretty much covers a lot of the good points of it. And I'm quite early, so I'm still enjoying all of the benefits of early game progression. Like I said, the campaign is littered with rewards so long as you can keep powering through it. But they are going to dry up quite soon. And now I'm hitting some pretty heavy roadblocks that will take me a while to get through. And once you reach this point, progress will slow down quite a bit. I am pretty dependent on gear raid drops at the moment, and so far they have not been kind. Be running dozens and dozens and dozens of times to get a single decent item for it to roll poorly, which is pretty expected in these games, but I guess this isn't really the correct video to discuss it. I don't think you can buy your way out of this one. I could be wrong. There are some bundles that can give you gear drops, but nothing to give you a perfect set. You can buy a gear set, but it's very likely going to be crap, and it's not cheap. I guess I don't have any complaints with my progress related to what I could be buying versus what I could be spending my time on in game doing. If you did decide you wanted to spend money, mainly I would recommend the monthly card bundle so you can get a bunch of summons, and the privilege card if you play a lot, because the auto fights are quite nice. It's one of the complaints I do have about the system. The auto fights are capped, which I think is very annoying. It's capping quality of life does not feel good. I feel like if you're going to stick stuff in a cash store, it should be the RNG, right? Giving you more dice rolls at getting a new unit. But sticking quality of life in the cash store doesn't feel good to me. It doesn't sit right. Capping auto fights is quite annoying. You have a default of 20 a day, and doing different various quests and stuff that reset daily will increase your counter. I don't remember the max. I think you get maybe 30 a day in total if you do all the stuff, but it's not the greatest amount. It's kind of a pain, really. I'm not fond of this system. I think my biggest complaint is, why would you do that? Just let people auto, man. Like, I don't see the benefit in doing that. I guess the benefit is, well, now people pay for the privilege card, but again, I think there's enough incentive for people to spend money to buy summons that you don't need to cap quality of life behind a paywall. But that's my only real complaint about the paywalled features. So yes, if you were going to spend money, monthly card and privilege card, especially if you play regularly, privilege card will be a lot of value for you. So to summarize the video, I would say Watcher of Realms so far has been quite a free-to-play friendly game. Comparing myself to other friends as well as people I know who do spend money, there is not a cavernous difference between our accounts. My friends who spend money have a much deeper roster than me and my free-to-play friends. Our accounts are much more dependent on luck. Some of my friends only have a single legendary. I have more. I obviously got a little bit luckier. My friend who spent some money has quite a few legendaries. He has more units that are a higher star. But our game stage is fairly similar. Now, I am playing this like a sweaty gremlin, so that could be part of it. All in all, I think the game is quite free-to-play friendly. My singular complaint is regarding how they seem to gate quality of life features behind the cash shop, regarding the privilege card, the free time speed, as well as the auto fights being limited based on stuff like that. I am not fond of that as a system. But outside of that, so far, I think it's pretty good. And if you do want to spend money, I would recommend the monthly card pack, and I would recommend the privilege card. So that about sums it up. If you have any thoughts that you want to share, then please leave a comment. I'd be interested to hear from more paying players. Or if you have any questions, if you're looking to get into the game as a free-to-play player and you're concerned about certain things, then feel free to ask below and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. So that's it. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a great one. Bye-bye.